Can we?
You
Want
want
to go?
do this?
Yeah, just to make sure, because it's been a while and they're long and sometimes get messy. So.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen your final exam because I was kind of slow at getting it in its final form. I saw last year's exam and he was planning on making it similar, but he was going to make changes. And as of today, I still don't know what those changes are. So I'm not exactly sure what the final looks like quite yet, but, you know.
One thing, right before you begin, another thing I'd like to see at some point before we end today, like, it was like finding, this goes back to like I think it was 6.2, like finding volumes of other solids, like where you use the triangles
Okay.
and stuff. That wasn't on the exam, but that was something I was worried about because I was having problems with that.
So let's do something like this. F of x equals 3x squared plus like minus 2x.
Somebody else is making our final?
It's a group common final, so the course coordinator makes the final for all courses, and then all the other teachers look at the final and say, I like this, I don't like this, and make this adjustment, make this change, whatever. So he hasn't yet distributed it to us to go through and make our suggestions and directions.
You make these up?
I make the regular test up, yes. Yeah. So, I mean, the wording should be similar because, you know, some of the questions, I mean, there's only so many ways to tell you to take a derivative. There are only so many ways to tell you to take an integral. So it should look similar. It might not be typed up in Word, and maybe he's going to use a different program instead to type it, but it'll work pretty just like. Okay, so here's this function. Let's find the derivative. Using the definition. All right. Well, what is the definition of a derivative? F prime of x should equal the limit as what?
X versus, then h is approaches infinity.
The limit as h approaches 0.
For
F
f of
of x plus h minus
f of x over h.
f of x over h. That will be your definition. So how are we going to do this? Well, you take the limit as h goes to 0, you replace, in your f of x function, you replace all your x's first with x plus h. So it'll be 3 times x plus h squared minus 2 times x plus h. That's f of x plus h. Minus f of x. Well, f of x is exactly what I told you it was. 3x squared minus 2x. And all of this then is divided by h. Alright, so now it's all about simplifying. That was the hardest part of it. So to simplify, I got to multiply everything out. So I end up getting 3x squared plus 6xh plus 3h squared minus 2x minus 2h. That's my first set of brackets. The second set doesn't change. And all of that gets divided by h. Then you look and you say, well, what cancels?
Everything with an h.
Nothing with an h for right. As of now.
I know everything with that.
The 3x squared and the 3x squared cancel.
Negative 2x.
The negative 2x and that negative 2x cancel. And now, everything that's left has an h in it. So everything that's left that has this h in it, I can factor one of those h's out. This is the limit of h goes to 0 of h times 6x plus 3h minus 2 all over h. And now that I've factored that h out, this h and that h will now cancel. So what I'm really looking for now is the limit as h goes to 0, 6x plus 3h minus 2. And then finally at this point, this is where we stop doing algebra and start doing calculus. What is now the limit as h goes to 0?
6x minus
6x minus 2. So that's the derivative using the definition. Now, if I just took the derivative here in my head, what would the answer be?
6x minus
6x minus 2. Okay, so if you ever have to do one of these by the definition, and you've got extra time on the final, you might as well check yourself in your head and just take the derivative the way you know how and make sure you got the right answer.
What's the other way to do it?
As x approaches a. Yeah, but when it says by the definition, generally speaking, they want you to do this. Because the other way will give you f prime at a, which is a generic mean, I guess X is a generic point. Usually use X as your variable, not A as your variable. Okay, so generally speaking, this will be the way they expect you to do it. All right. What else?
You grab something completely and maximums, minus,
Absolutely.
Oh, the increasing, decreasing number lines and all that stuff?
Yeah. Just some of those crazy graphs.
And
All
if
right.
you get time to do an optimization,
And if I find an optimization, absolutely. All right.